G'day, welcome back to another episode of TOGL. Well, first thing I've got to do this week is fix something on the tractor. Let me start by going back to last week's episode when I was carrying that log under the bucket of the tractor. I was going down a hill, and when I applied the brake, the tractor actually pivoted to the right, swung around, and that's because these tractors have two separate brake systems. One for the left rear wheel, one for the right rear wheel. You can actually disconnect, there's two pedals that are connected by a bar, but you can lift that bar up and you can operate each brake independently. Now that's great when you're on flat ground. You can brake one side and actually pivot really fast, just around the one wheel. But when you're going down a hill and you start to pivot, you start to get ready to topple over, and that's a bad thing. So I've done a little bit of research and I contacted the guys, Soda Tractors, who I bought this tractor from, and got some advice from them as well. They've told me where the systems are, what I need to be looking for down there. So let's get in underneath the tractor, have a look, and see if we can't tighten up the left brake, which was the one that was loose. Okay, straight away I can see what the problem is. Now let me explain first. These are the two pedals. You can flick that lever up there and you can operate each pedal independently. They come down here, and so this left one, it operates this lever through here, and this is what you tighten it with. So you just need to loosen that little nut, and then you can twist this whole tube that's threaded there, and it will, contract in, expand out, and it will let you set it. Now, when I look across at the other one, the first thing I just noticed when I looked under here is, look at the bend. That should not have a bend like that. So something's come up. I can actually see a dent right there as well, which shouldn't be there, I don't think. Oh no, I can feel a dent in the other one. I think that's what maybe putting a spanner on. But anyway, something's obviously come up, hit that, and bent that. And that's why I can't get pressure on that one, because when this comes forward, it should be pushing in a straight line, and it's not. It would be tending to push this more up rather than back. So I hope that makes sense. So what I need to do is I'm going to have to pull that little split pin out, take this bar off. It's just that bit there, just needs to be straightened out. Hopefully I can straighten it without damaging the thread too much. And then that should see the brakes working properly again. So I'll get stuck into doing that now. Okay, so as I said, this is the part that was bent. That's what I need to straighten. So the plan is that I'm going to put it into the vise. I'm actually going to use the blowtorch to heat this out up. So it'll probably take a couple of minutes to get that nice and hot. And then, because there's a nut on it, I'll actually be able to, probably with a heat shifter, but I'll be able to get the spanner onto the nut and bend it straight without actually crimping onto any of the thread, and then hopefully the thread will work. Whilst that's hot and I've got this straight, I might try putting the nut around just to get the threads straightened out. So that's going to be the plan, that's what we need to do. So let's get this in here to start with. Okay, well, it's straighter than it was. It was bent to probably 35-40 degrees now. There might be a degree in it, but it's pretty damn straight. So, and then that extra bit of tightening up, I was just making sure the thread was going to work. So now I just need to let that cool down, and then we'll go and put it back on the tractor, and hopefully that's going to fix the brake. Then I can just do minor adjustments and tighten it up, but that was definitely what the issue was. And I kind of remember when that happened as well, and I think it was a log. I was going over some wood, and just like wood offcuts and that sort of thing, trying to drag and move stuff around, and I remember the tractor kind of got lifted a bit, and it felt like I must have caught a stick, and as I was reversing it lifted the tractor off a bit. I think it must have jammed right onto that bar and bent that. Unlucky. But anyway, we'll put this on and we'll see if that fixed the problem. If it did, and I'm hoping it did, I've got a piece of pipe down there. I need to go and grab it, take it over to where part of that new roadway was put through. There's already a pipe there, but it's very narrow, the piece of road, because of the width of the pipe. So if I put this extra bit of pipe on, we can then widen that roadway out just a little bit more, make it a little bit safer. Let's go put this back together. Alright, I'll put it back together, go for a little drive and give it a test. Okay, that fixed it beautifully. What I tried to demonstrate there, I'm not sure whether you could see it or not, but I was able to actually lock up that back left wheel. You saw the tractor was still pushing and moving forward. That's because the right wheel was turning, but the left wheel had locked on, so brake's working. Before it wouldn't do that, it would just keep spinning. So that was obviously the problem. There weren't any other problems. Let's get some straps. We'll get down and move this pipe. Okay, so this is our very narrow piece of road. Pipe goes from just there to just there. I could possibly go further that way with the pipe, and that's probably the best bet, because even though it's swampy in there, I mean it's swampy down there too, but there's going to be a lot more fill required to fill down there because it's sloping at an angle. So I'll get the pipe put over there. When we get the excavator back, we'll get more dirt filled in across here, and we'll just have a bit of a wider bridge. That's all we really wanted. We really only needed an extra foot or so each side, but yeah, we'll get that sorted out now. Well, here comes our first truckload of real gravel. This is going to make things so much better for getting up here, especially with those winter rains are coming. So this is provided by our neighbour Glenn Carr, awesome bloke. He's done so much for us, and yeah, he's got a quarry there and some really good gravel. So there we go, one truckload. I don't know what that is, maybe 30, 40 metres, maybe 50 metres, who knows, but yeah. Awesome effort. So it's a happy day to see this going down. It's going to make the road smoother and it's going to give us a lot more traction. So very, very happy. Okay, so now with 10 loads of gravel down, let's take a look at how far we got with getting that down. Now it has been raining for the last few days, so normally this road would be really slippery, but now, while still a little bumpy because we haven't really leveled it out yet, at least it's got plenty of traction and there's no danger of sliding off the road or not being able to get up a slope or anything like that. This will make things a whole lot better this winter, and as you can tell, everything looks really wet because we've just had a couple of days of pretty heavy rain. The entire east coast of Australia has had a lot of rain and storms and that. Now, the other day when I was moving that pipe over the back, I did a little bit of excavator work, and then lo and behold, I lost control of this lever. Only in one direction. It still works. It's still spring loaded to the left and right, still spring loaded to the back, but to the front there's nothing in there. It's done this once before, so I'm pretty sure I know what the problem is. This time I'm going to show you, because I'll be blowed if I know how this nut that's in there manages to come undone the way it's set up. So yeah, what I need to do first is just take this cover off and then lift this rubber up, and I'll show you what's going on. One of you guys might actually have an answer as to why it's doing what it's doing, because I can't work it out. Anyway, let's take a look inside. Okay, so we lift this up here. Should just come off like that. And what we find is that's right, that has come unscrewed, as you can see. Now, when this here has a pin going through there. This screws into that hole there. Now, how can that twist and come undone when that pin's through there? because whatever that is in there, that's solid. That down there I don't think spins around. But what I've got to do is I've got to take this pin out, I've got to screw this into that hole, put the pin back through. Second I've had to do it, and I just have no idea how the hell that manages to unscrew. But that's why the forward backward is losing any sort of pressure, because it's not screwed into there anymore. So it's a pretty simple fix, but why is it doing it? No idea. So let's get that fixed now. So now that I can feel the tension in that now, but it does keep spinning. So obviously that's what's happening, is on the base here somewhere, it's managing to turn with the vibration in the opposite direction, and eventually it unspins itself. So that's a little bit frustrating, but at least I know now. Yeah, now I just got to try and jiggle it all, get it back in again, back into position, and then we'll be on our way. But yeah, it's very frustrating that keeps coming out. I wish there was a way to make sure that it didn't, but I gather it is loose like that so that it can handle a little bit of pivot and vibration. But yeah, not good when it keeps coming undone like that. And there we have it, all sorted. Just got to fold the cover back down and put the other cover back on. Now if it does come loose again, I might have to look at putting a couple of drops of Loctite or something on the thread when I put it in there. So, but at least she's back working now, and as I said, fairly simple fix. It's just a nut coming undone really. You know, at least it's nothing broken, so that's really good. Alrighty, I'll get this cover back on and we'll be on our way. I'm actually going to pop in and see someone on the way back from up here today. Last week I drew the correct winner of the pepperberries, Wally Elphinston. Well, it turns out Wally is actually one of the guys that goes to the Stopor community meeting every Tuesday morning, and I've known Wally quite some time. I wasn't sure what his surname was. I just knew it was Wally. So I asked him yesterday, I said, hey, what's your surname, Wally? He said, Elphinston. I'm like, right. I said, you won the pepperberries, buddy. He hadn't seen the video yet. So I'm going to drop in and give him those pepperberries on the way home. So yeah, we'll do that. All right, we're just going to see Wally. Wally! Got to give him these pepperberries. Here he comes. Hey, Wally, how are you, matey?
Yeah.
Good. Well, in case you weren't aware, you won the pepperberries.
I'll be blowed.
So there you go. There's a nice big jar of pepperberries. Say hi to the TOGL viewers.
Yeah.
So Wally's
Good morning.
Wally's only just a few minutes up the road from me actually, which is quite coincidental.
Yeah.
Out of all the viewers that we've got watching. Any secret plans what you're going to use these for?
No.
No?
Other than eat some.
Eat some, yeah.
And my stepson is next door, he's a cook.
Yep.
And he's got the mill and he showed me how to use them, so I thought,
Oh, good.
okay, maybe I'll need some.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Well, there you go. Now you got some. So good
Oh,
timing.
great.
It was meant to be.
Yeah, well, I'm glad I was following you on the net.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's good. Awesome. All
Good
right.
thing.
Cool. Well,
Yeah.
enjoy those, mate.
I will do.
I better get on with my day and let you get on with your brekkie.
Okay, well, thanks very much. We'll
No
catch you
worries.
around.
All right. Thanks, Wally.
Cheers,
Cheers, mate.
See ya.
All right. Right. Well, Wally was pretty happy to get those pepperberries, eh? I'm glad that he won them. Anyway, just out here stoking up the fire again. I've been running this fire now every day for probably a little over a week and a half, because what we've got here, yes, there's pipes, but underneath all of these steel pipes is all of those steel beams, all of those timber beams that I cut. All braced with spacers, ratchet strapped together, and then all of this steel pipe work sitting on top just to hold it all together, hold it nice and straight whilst it dries. I'm basically turning the shed into a kiln and drying out this timber. It was already over a year old, so I just wanted to try and get any last moisture out of it. So basically next week you'll see the unstrapping of all of this, and hopefully it doesn't all go everywhere. Hopefully it stays nice and straight. But that's it for this episode. You'll have to wait until next week to see that. Hope you've enjoyed it. Like always, stay safe, take care, have a great weekend, and I'll see you guys next Friday. Thanks for watching. Cheers.